Hello?
Hello?
We can hear you. Please proceed.
Okay, the theme of the event is relevant skill acquisition for the information age. And for this event, we have two speakers. The person of our first speaker, Mr. Gbenga. Hello, Mr. Gbenga. I don't know if I was heard. My network is there with me. Okay, two speakers for this event. Our second speaker is will join us very soon. Our first speaker is a person of Mr. Gbenga Olatoye. Mr. Gbenga is a um, project slash product manager, and he'll be here to speak to us concerning on the team, the relevant skill acquisition for the information age. Our second speaker is Mr. Moody, and he will be joining us very, very soon. So the floor is open. Mr. Benga can proceed. I don't know if you heard me, Mr. Benga. I don't know if my mic is.
Hello. Can you hear me from here?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
May,
Would you please confirm if you can hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So, guys, I'm going to be joining on two systems. I don't know why. I'm not hearing anything from my laptop. So I'll connect with the other phone. So that's where you'll be hearing me from. But I can share my screen with the laptop. I hope that is fine.
It's fine, but since we've not started, what about logging out and logging in again with your laptop to see if you would get a better connection?
Yeah. So if I need to log in again, I need to go and register again, right?
You just click the link. I'm sure you have your details already. Yeah, it's not a very long form. Right?
It's okay. I can do that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let me go back.
Hello. Hello, can
Hello?
anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Please, what's going on? What's the issue, please? You're supposed to be speaking now. Who am I speaking with? Okay, Mr.
Okay, this
Winga, you're
is
supposed to be on now.
yeah, okay. So I was asked to let me quickly restart my system. I was still not hearing you, right? So I'm just restarting my system. Let's see if that will be better. Now I'm using my phone. That's why you can hear me now. So I'm trying to see. Let's see if the laptop will work. Otherwise, I'll use both, right? I'll be able to share my screen from the other one. Then I'll talk from here.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, so I'm in now.
Okay, so hello?
Yeah, hello. I'm in now. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Now. All right, so we can have
So we can hear you. You can
you
go ahead. We
now.
can hear you. Chisom, I'm here. So
Okay, Chisom. So can you hear
Okay.
me?
So since Mr. Winga is ready now, Mr. Winga, let's have you since you are asked. I can hear you.
Okay, sure. Do you want to set the background rules and things? How many minutes do I have and things like that? Or I should just go ahead and shoot.
I can hear you.
Okay, so either
You have to.
Chisom, hello Chisom.
I think Chisom's network is not just awesome. Moody, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think Chisom's network is not that great. So do you want to help out? So I don't end up overshooting
I
my.
need to. All right. I think Chisom is even off the network right now. Right. So good afternoon, everyone. If you can hear me, please signify by a wave or saying hi. We want to know if everybody can hear us.
I can hear you.
I know, Benga, I know you can hear me. I know you can hear me. Ijoma, can you hear me? Samuel, can you hear me? Emmanuel, can you hear me? Razak, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
We
hear
need
you.
feedback.
Yes, I can hear you,
Emmanuel,
sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Cardinal, are you there? Bincom training, your network is a bit bad. We can't hear you. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this edition of ICT Career Talk. It's going to be 2 hours of conversation, interaction, right? And we have 2 presenters today, 2 speakers that will be taking us through the topic necessary skills or relevant skill that we need to acquire for the information age, for this day and time. What are the digital skills that we should have, right? And we have a very seasoned speaker and project manager in the person of Mr. Gbenga Olatoye taking the first session. For those of you that don't know, Mr. Gbenga Olatoye had a stint with Bincom in his career path. He was, I think, the pioneer, one of the pioneer set of Bincom Delta team. And he led project management for Bincom and EBI so many years before joining eTransat. Right, I know there's a company before eTransat, I can't remember now. Before joining eTransat, he's currently the project manager. He's currently a project manager at eTransat. He has co-founded a startup before now also. So with that brief introduction, I will allow him introduce himself in a broader spectrum, because I'm not missing out on some of his key achievement at the moment because I don't have his profile in front of me. But with that introduction, please let's welcome Mr. Gbenga. Mr. Gbenga, please do well to also introduce yourself properly before you comment, right? So that I don't do injustice to your reputation. Thank you very much, and thanks for having us. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mudi. I think you've done very well. So do I have, okay, yeah, I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So can you guys hear me now?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
So yeah. So basically, will be, since I'm a project manager and a product manager, so I will be talking more towards, even though I'll be trying to touch on, of course, skills that we need to succeed in IT, right? I'll be talking more on becoming a project manager, and maintaining your that status, right? So I think not just talking, to, there are a lot of things that you need, ways to become this and that, in IT. The field of IT is so vast that to be difficult for us to just sit down and say, yeah, these are the things that you need to succeed. So I said that, okay, let me just pick a particular field, of course, my own profession, and just let's look at, okay, how do we become as a project manager, right? And that same thing will apply to other fields. So if you want to become a data analyst, so perhaps what we are going to be discussing will apply to you as well. Right. So well, I really want to say this is really it's a privilege, right, for me to be speaking at Bincom Career Talk event again. I think the last time I spoke at this event was, I think, 2017. Yeah, I think 2000, maybe early 2017 also. Yeah, I came. So, and then it was still a very sane environment then. So we were able to come together at the office and laugh and and joke and all that, make friends. I met a lot of guys there that today we still keep in touch. So today I hope the power of technology also has enabled us to be able to hold this event again. So I'm not taking that for granted. I really want to appreciate everybody for the privilege, for the time. I thank Bincom management for finding me worthy to be invited over again to speak here again at this very important time. So let's go straight to it. Your speaker, yeah, my name is Latula Bunga. I'm a professional project manager. I'm a product manager as well. I have about 10 years experience doing this. In terms of certification, I have the PMP, Project Management Professional. I have the ICT, that's Information Technology Infrastructure Library, and I also have the Professional Scrum Master. So I'm also a Scrum Master, right? So if you are trying to dabble into Agile, maybe we can discuss that after this, or you want to know more about Scrum, right? Aside from that, also, so I practice of course, the traditional project management methodology, Scrum, Agile. I know about Kanban as well, and a few other methodologies, right? So if at the end of this discussion you feel like, oh, this is actually the field that you are trying to dabble into, right? You can talk to me, and because I also who found a group. I mean, you guys see my background there, PM Group Nigeria. It's a professional community for project and product management professionals in Nigeria. And we are trying, basically what we are trying to do is to help each other, become better at what we do, right? So everybody there, we do IT project and product management. Pretty much like we have people that are not into that field, but but maybe they're trying to pivot into the field there also. So if after this talk you want to join, you feel like this is a field that interests you, you can do well to reach out, and we'll be glad to welcome you into the group. Just the only requirement, anyways, is for that you must be ready to give out. I mean, to the society as well. So because that is essentially what we try to do, help each other. Okay, so even though I'm a program manager and Scrum Master at eTransact International PLC, right? I'm going to be talking to you as Benga today, not in the capacity of a program manager from eTransact. But of course, the fact that I hold that position might influence one of the things that I put together in my slide, right? Just as other places that work, even Bincom ICT solution, right? But then it's not the cross of the matter. It's not because so I'm not trying to talk to you about how things are done or as an authority from eTransact. Okay, so getting right to it, I've put this together. I said, okay, 10 milestones. So I sat down and I looked at, okay, Benga, today, what are the things that I've crossed? What are the things that I've crossed through, and how have I been able to cross those stages in my life? And I was able to, my professional career, sorry to say, right? So, and I've been able to pen down these 10 dates that are very, very key to becoming Benga that you see today, right? July 29, 2011, I was working with a real estate firm, and okay, not quite long after I finished my YC, then I picked that job of, just like most of us here that are still doing things that we know, let me just continue doing something so that before I get something that we want. So on this particular date, I was looking for a job. I was online searching, and I saw this advert from Bincom ICT solution. It has been posted about 3 months ago, and I thought, okay, a part of me wanted to close the advert and move on, just like any one of us would do. And when we see that, it seems this should have closed by now. But the other, I just like, it's too hot just for you to try, right? So, and that leads us to the first skills that we're talking about today. Dare to try, right? Never give up on anything. Just try to shoot your shots. You never know what can, where you can actually hit the target. So I sent in the application, and about 2 days later, I got a mail from the HR inviting me for an interview. So I was like, okay, as of all the even the jobs that still opened, you send them how many applications, you don't even get quick response like this. So I quickly packaged myself, went for the interview, and the first interview was fine. Yes. So and then Bincom, I don't know if that's still the way Bincom does the recruitment now. Then there's different stages. After you pass the oral interview, you come for presentations. Then there is the last stage, which is with the executives. So I was supposed to come for the second stage. Then I didn't quite get the question right, what I was supposed to present on. And I made the presentation. I make a very beautiful slides. As I believe it was beautiful. Yeah, so I made a very beautiful slides. I came and I was talking. And as I was talking, the HR lady was like, "You have 30 minutes to present." That was about 10 minutes into the talk. I was like, "Yes, I know." I was very, very confident, So, and that skills that we must you must have. If you want to succeed in IT, you must know your onions and be proud of it, right? Don't be afraid to blow your horn where you think you need to blow it. I mean, you never know who is listening. Now, so I continue. Then a while, she stood up and left the interview. I was just wondering, why would the HR person leave the interview? Then, after, I think I haven't shared this story with anybody, not on the platform like this before. So after I was done, Bade was in the interview, and Bade was like, "You know what? There's no doubt you didn't get the question right, but I like your presentation. I like your charisma. I like the way you were so sure, and you're just so, the way you present your ideas. So I'm going to give you another try." So if you're going to succeed in IT, you must be able to really be convinced in yourself that this is what you want to do. The passion must speak for you, right? So even though I was speaking, I was presenting on something different from what the organization was. It's an interview, right? I mean, that's supposed to have been the next question should have been, "You will hear back from us." And I wouldn't hear anything. I wouldn't know why. But Bade decided to take a chance on me. And like, I'm going to give her that chance. He gave me a paper and asked me to write down. And then it was SEO, search engine optimization. And that was the first time I will hear that topic. And then I went back home. He asked me a question. I told him bluntly, "Yeah, I don't know this topic. I've never had it before, right? In fact, I've never worked in IT before. So I just have passion for IT." So he asked me to go back home and then come back about 3 days later to do my presentation again and be able to show him what things that I have. Now, before then, I was just a general secretary with an association, and I decided that, okay, you know what? Even though I'm supported, how can I use IT to help this? And I set up a blog for the organization. And while I was talking to Bade, he asked what I've been doing. I'm like, yeah. After the presentation, of course, and he liked the presentation, I make sure I put in my efforts and my best into it, even though it was the first, my first shot at SEO, right? And you won't believe that slide. And Bade too was, he was happy with it. That I guess he believed that, okay, he hasn't made a mistake to have given me the second chance. So don't burn your bridges, right? So he was now asking, okay, so what have you been doing in IT? And I was planning to tell him, okay, I've not really been doing much, but there's this website, this blog that I created for this organization, and he asked me to open it. I open it. Things that I was thinking that, oh, it's nothing. I just do it to post, okay, meeting notification, let people know what we are doing and things like that. And Bade saw it, and Bade was like, "Wow, you did this," So again, it was true that, okay, you are trying to do something, right? So dare to do anything you think you can do, anywhere you have opportunity to try to speak, to show your skill, no matter how crude you think it might be what somebody is looking for, right? So I did that, and it was, again, awesome. And he told me, okay, HR will get back to me. And I waited for HR. I met HR. I went through the other stages of the interview. And then 10th of August 2011, I resumed at Bincom as an intern, because the role I applied for was an internship role. And I was opportunity to be placed on a project, right, on data project, just like Modi mentioned. And that's where it started from, right? My journey into project management started right from there. While I was still there, I didn't sit down to say, yeah, after all, I'm just an intern. Let me just do, and even though they are paying me anyways, let me just do it and just be looking for another job. I try to see, okay, how can I become better at this? right? Every time I need to talk to people, I made my bosses my mentor, right? Then, because I understood that I was new, I had a lot to learn, and I was not shy about it. I was ready to learn, and I had the very supportive boss. Not a, I have but Mr. Wale and Badi that are very supportive, and are ready to give you all it takes to make sure that you grow, right? I was given opportunities, and I make sure I utilize the opportunities. And by 13th January 2013, that is about less than 2 years, right? I became a PMP certified, right? I've built my career in project management to that point that I was able to sit for PMP examination, and I was certified. And that is another skill that, as a project, someone that is trying to build a career in IT, you must be able to leverage. You must be able to use opportunities that you have. As of today, I learned Bincom is showcasing a lot of opportunities for you, and for people out there, where possible, where you think you fit in, just tap in, right? Even if they are not doing anything that you think you need as at now, whatever they are doing, I mean, I know not only Bincom, there are other possible out there. Make sure you tap into something. Don't just sit down and be looking for that perfect job. It might never come, right? So take this time to build up yourself. Take up the opportunity. I mean, my first certification, Bincom pay for it, right? I was given scholarship, more like study grants then. And I was not the only one. So a few other of us lost the money because they couldn't decide on time on what training they want to go for, and they couldn't use the money. And because the money wasn't just going to sit there, you'd have to use within a particular time, right, a window. But that is what I used, and I wrote my certification exam. I passed it at once, and I didn't burn the bridge, the bridge, So, and again, after the closure of Bincom Data Project, I think May 29, 2015, June 1st, I resumed back in Lagos office, and the job continues. I continue to make sure that I show myself as a worthy ambassador, right? Everything I have, I make sure I throw my best in it. And by September, December, that's like about 3 months after I came to Lagos, there was another opportunity again for personal improvement. Bincom gave us another fund, study grant then, for 2015. And I utilized again. And by 15th of September, I became IT certified. So if you see that I just list my certification, I've done this, it's because I've been able to utilize the opportunities that I have, right? So as someone that is trying to build a career in IT, you must be able to utilize that. And June 1st of June 2016, because of my time, I would need to probably rush a lot of things. 1st of June 2016, that's not quite too long after the recession, right? And a lot of people had to leave the company and all that. And I became the senior project manager. Now, I've prepared myself for that opportunities. I mean, not because, even though I know favor might have played a big role in this, but because I prepared for it, right? I prepared for it. And when the opportunity came, management thought that, okay, we can try Binga out. And again, I didn't disappoint. And because I've not disappointed in the past, I was able to become the senior project manager and the office manager at the time. And 13th of April 2018, I got another job somewhere and I had to move. And I left on a very good note with Bincom. I can say that of course, if Bade is on this call, I'm sure he will say the same thing. And that is why the relationship continues, right? After I left Bincom, I've had to recycle back to Bade on a lot of things, to Mr. Wale on a lot of things. The Bincom family still remains my family. It's just like an extension of Bincom, right? So as someone that wants to build a career in IT, you must know that takes me to team management, right? Stakeholder management must be a top notch for you, even if you're trying to build a career, whether in project management, whether in any role at all in IT, you must be able to leverage on your soft skill to be able to get things done, right? So even though I was no longer with Bincom, at Saturday, I can come to Bincom if I need anything, and I'm sure that I have people there that will support me, right? okay, so I left Bincom then 13th of April. I moved to Novatrack as a product and project manager. But by 13th, I excelled there again. And by 13th of March 2019, I moved to another job, right, as head of project management and product management. And by 20th January 2020, that's last year, I joined eTransact as project program manager and Scrum Master to lead a program project, the development of their some of their flagship products, right? And the foundation for this dated back to Bincom. And by January 19 this year, also I became a PSM certified. That's professional Scrum Master. So that is like my journey, right? Into project management, that I've now broken down, where maybe as a proper project manager, right, into 10 milestones for you, so that you can appreciate where I've come from. Right now, so having learned the skills that we need to become a project manager, right? Now, becoming a project manager for you might be accidental or might be planned, right? It could be, but none of them is bad, really. None of them is bad. Even though I prepare for it, for my career in IT, I was trying to look for it and I was trying to do everything. I didn't even at the time, I didn't know whether I'm going to become a project manager or a web developer or something. I saw an intern. In fact, the intern was for a web developer, right? And I shoot my shot. I became one. But let's look at what it means to be an accidental project manager and a planned project manager, right? Now, so if you're today, maybe you are at a particular level in your career, you're not just starting off. I mean to say, you've done A and B. You've been able to get to this stage in your life, and you think, okay, you want to look at yourself now, and then see, okay, what have you been doing? And then you look at yourself, you like take stock of the experience that you already have, in terms of the different knowledge areas that we have in project management, from integration management. Have I been putting that together? So integration management covers every other thing in project management, right? It's the part, and for those of us that are developer, after you've built different components, you integrate them together to form a system, right? So integration management is that part of the of PM project management body of knowledge that joins everything else together, right? From your communication, how do you plan your communication? How do you so if today you've been doing a lot of planning communication, you've been assigned, even though you didn't have that title of a project manager, but you've been doing a lot of things that have to do about managing communication, communicating to stakeholders. Yeah, maybe you're already on your way to it. You handle costs. Sometimes we want to do this in the company, and I've been asked to manage the cost, to do budgeting and see, okay, what do we need for this? How long do we need it? And all that. What are the resources that we need? How much is it going to cost us? And factor that, build that into a cost. Maybe you've been doing something in project management. Quality management, you need to check, okay, are we doing the right thing? Is it meeting the specification? Time management, resource management. You have to manage a lot of resources, human resources, and a lot of other things, right? Scope management, you manage risk, you manage procurement, and you manage stakeholders, right? Those are different knowledge areas in project management that you might want to sit down and look at, okay, which of these have I been doing, right? And then maybe you're on your way to be an accidental project manager, right? Then after you have taken stock of that, it's important. Then the next thing you need to do is to determine the knowledge or skill gap. You know the body of knowledge. I mean, you have an overview. You know what are the things that I need if I'm going to build a career in this interesting part. What are the things that I need to do? I mean, that is the point that you itemize that. Then you take advantage of business, of learning opportunity like Bincom is giving you, like things like this, and where you can get out there. Then you start implementing what you've learned, because you cannot go back to your company and just say, oh, I want to become a project manager overnight, right? You need to now put what you have learned out. Somebody needs to see it, right? So in everything you do, you must now show, if you're a developer, for example, your line manager must now see that, yes, you manage time very well, right? So, and when the opportunity to lead the team or to go to a higher level arises, he'll be able to recommend you for that. Then, of course, you decide on your next move. That's an accidental project manager. And what is the next one? The next one is, okay, the planned one, people that they are setting out and they're like, okay, yeah, I want to build a career in project management, right? So you commit to becoming a project manager. That is the first thing, so you now need to sit down and say, okay, you're convinced yourself that, okay, this is the path I want to build a career on. And you sit down and begin to look at what are the certifications that I need to have. So there are a lot of certifications out there. And as someone that is just starting out, I like to tell people that, yeah, see, we all know PMP. But see, if you're just starting your career, maybe you just finished school, you don't have other experience, you might not need to go for PMP, or else you'll be putting yourself in a lot of pressure, right? You'll get invited to interview, but you'll not be able to meet expectations. That is what it means, because they will be asking you what you have done, and you now need to be making things up in your head, right, to defend that. Whereas there is actually another certification for you, CAPM, right? That's Certified Associate of Project Management, which is also owned by PMI, right? It's the same body of knowledge. As a matter of fact, if I see that on your CV and I need to interview for an entry role, I would rather invite you for that role than somebody with PMP. Because when I see somebody with PMP, I expect that they are experienced, right? So if you are trying to build a career and you're new, I encourage you to consider that. And plus, you don't need much requirement. I think you only need about 1,500 hours of practice just to have been working, all right, where you can record some things. If we work together, there are ways of crafting your experience into projectizing your experience, right? So you might be able to do something like that, and you will have a good start, right? Then you begin your project management education after you've decided whichever certification you want to go for. Of course, there's also Prince 2. There's Prince 2 Foundation to start it, or Prince 2 Practitioner. There are a lot of other project management certifications, but you need to now decide which one you want to go for and why, right? You need to weigh your pros and cons. And then after you've picked one, then you prepare and take your certification exam, then you maintain your certification, right? Now, so the next thing I want to talk about is knowing, okay, how do we get into project management? What are the career paths in project management? Project management, so just like other fields of IT, have a lot of possibilities, right? A lot of potentials. From the first three that you see on your screen: project administrator, project coordinator, and project scheduler, right? Project scheduler is a little bit more technical, right? But the first two are administrative roles. So you have your CAPM, for example, and you are looking for a job. You can look for project administrator or project coordinator. You are not going to be given a whole project to manage on your own, but you can manage the administrative part of the project, right? Taking minutes, sending out communication, of course, under the guidance of the project or the main project manager, right? Or you can, so you'll be able to support that and you'll be able to learn, right? As a matter of fact, you don't even need a certification to take a role like this, but it will give you that opportunity to learn. As someone that is trying to build his career in IT, I've seen that. And of course, if you look at my own journey that we started with, you see that you need to start from the basis. The rudiment. I mean, you see people out there that are trying to become a developer overnight, become a data scientist overnight, forgetting the rudiment. As someone that wants to build a lasting career in IT, you cannot forget the basics. You cannot. Don't let anybody deceive you. I know there are a lot of low-code, no-code technologies there, but take your time to learn the basics. It will pay off. It will make sense for you. I mean, by the time you get that up, you might not get there in a year or two, but at least by the time you're getting there after that, you are getting on a very good footing, right? So after the project scheduler that manage schedules and all, there is the assistant project manager. There is project manager who is actually the main guy working. And of course, after you become that, the ladder doesn't stop there. You can become a senior project manager. You can become a program manager. A program manager manage multiple related projects, together under a program. If it's a company that sets up a project management office, right, a very projectized organization, or maybe it's even a matrix organization. Matrix organization means that you have a project management office and you have other functional area, right? You have technology, you have your resources don't report straight to you; they report straight to their functional head, right, from their own line manager. And because you are the one that manages the project, they also have a dotted line of reporting to you as the project manager or the project management office. So if you have opportunity of sitting on this office already at that maybe like a director role, right? Of course, and you have the portfolio manager. There are some organizations that manage the entire portfolio for the organization, right? Different programs, different projects that they have, and the likes like that. So I now put the plus infinity because there is no limit to where you can get to, right? There's no limit that you can get to if you're following a PM career path, right? There's no limit. You can become the CEO. You can become, as a matter of fact, but if you're going through aiming to become a CEO, I want to encourage you to look at the career in project management, even if you don't want to make it your primary something. Learn it because you are going to see it playing out. There's nothing you cannot projectize. Even your life, you want to get married, you can projectize it. There's nothing you want to do that you cannot projectize. Right. So then let's talk about challenges, right? Because I when I got the invitation for this, I said that okay, supposed to look at how do you become this? Then what are the challenges that you face, and what are how can you surmount them? So I'm going to take time to quickly speak to a few of these that you see on my slide. I've taken time to just look at myself and document, okay, what are the, in order of priorities, what are the things that I think challenges that I think project managers face? And I believe you me, this thing I'm speaking to, and they are not peculiar to project managers, right? Because we sit at the core that holds every other things together. So everything that we discuss here affects every other person in the team, in the field of IT. Now, number one here is unrealistic deadline. I'm sure most of us must have heard of the word burnout before. Now, I was reading an article, and the author was trying to say that most of employers in Lagos State are always burning out, right? Because we are always faced with unrealistic deadlines. Starting from even your job to your private lives, we give ourselves timelines that we know we cannot meet. We want to push ourselves to the limit, right? But at times that thing can be counterproductive. I want to execute this project and the project will take me 4 weeks, and you're telling me to deliver it in 2 weeks. I'm going to either burn out or something because I'm going to push everybody, and we got to the point that people begin to feel tired. The productivity will reduce, right? You constantly have a day. You are blanking out. You don't know what to say again. You want to open your mouth to say something, but nothing is coming out. Yeah, that is burnout. So, and this is mostly caused by unrealistic deadlines, right? So, and how have I been able to manage this? So to relate it to myself is I look at project Scrum manifesto, for example, right? So I look at Scrum manifesto and I see, okay, why are we doing most of these things that we are doing, right? And I try to go back to the basis. Why are we doing? Why are we here? And for every time I try to remind myself, I understand that, okay, even if I'm faced with unrealistic deadlines, it's not the end of the road. It's just a phase, right? And I can use that to even to work with my team and say that, guys, don't worry, let's be focused, right? Let's be focused. Let's take a break if we need to take a break, and let's come back. And, by the time we come back, we are refreshed and we're able to do this. So unrealistic deadline is one of the things. Of course, sometimes you cannot control it. At times I've been assigned projects that the order come from the MD. We need to go like that. So dates. I don't even know what I'm going into. We've not analyzed anything, and you already giving me dates. So are you going to increase number of resources if I ask for more? Most of the time, no. Are you going to give me more money if I ask for more? Most of the time, no. So how do you want me to meet this deadline? But yeah, it is what it is. But you need to be able to master how, devise what works for you in ways of managing this. Number two is fully defining goals and objectives. Most of the times, the client, for those of us that work in the consulting, most of the time, clients don't know what they want until you give to them the first thing, because they now begin to tell you, oh, I expect this to be there. I thought this one would be there. So how do I manage this is I employ agile methodology, which will enable me to release my deliverables incrementally in different sprints. So if I'm showing you the first one, it's not a full-fledged, and you need to correct something, the cost of the work will not be too much, right? You're part of you're practically part of the development stage. So you are seeing it. You cannot come back and you're signing off. You cannot come back at the end of the day and not say, oh, the milestone that you signed off earlier, it's no longer meeting your requirements. That will not happen. Number three is scope creep. Scope creep is when the customer asks for things that are not supposed to be part of the so that are not part of the scope initially. No, you didn't agree that you're going to be doing this, and it's asking for it. How I manage this is to make sure that my once I get a project, I do a SOW statement of work where I detail everything that is in scope and things that are not in scope, things that are out of scope. I state it clearly, right? So you sign off on it, I sign off on it. So if anything you're bringing something that's not in scope, I bring my document to show you that this is what we're signing. Is what you're asking for part of this? Tell me no. I say, okay, can we make it phase 2 or something? We negotiate it differently. So let it not come and ruin what we are doing. So we're able to keep focus. Number 4, please let me know if I'm running out of time, please. I wasn't given time. So please let me know. Okay, so number 4, keeping team on same page. This can be, especially when you are starting up, this can be, in fact, sometimes can be the number 1 problem of a project manager, making sure you are keeping everybody together, everybody share the view, everybody share the vision, and everybody is able to run. Because you don't want to be a project manager that tailgates every member of your team. What Agile preach is self-awareness and self-organization, right? So the development team must be able to self-aware, self-organized, and deliver peak. You don't need to chase them around. That's the part of project managers' responsibility that can be very, very frustrating sometimes, right? Okay, since I have a message here, okay, you have 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. I'll do that. So now, so as someone that is just starting off, you must know what works for you. You must be able to leverage your soft skill to be able to get people. Sometimes people have their personal life, and their personal life gets in the way of work, right? You must be able to speak to them. You must be able to calm them down. You must be able to empathize with them where necessary. Don't just be the project manager that say, hey, go. What is happening in their personal life is none of your business. Otherwise, if you're that type of person, you will not be able to deliver results because you will constantly be at loggerheads with your team. And I bet that is the stage you never want to be. You never want to force your team to work at any point in time. Miscommunication. So as a project manager, we communicate between 75 and 90% of the time. What we do is communication. You're telling this person, oh, this is what we need to do. You're telling this person how we're doing this. You're getting updates or you're sending updates out. That is 90% of the time, that is what you are doing. So as a project manager, you must be a very, very good communicator. It must be clear, precise, and to the point, right? So if you need to take a course in communication management, please do, right? Okay, I think I repeat this, keeping team on same page. Okay, so I mentioned that in number 4. Okay, and the same thing with number 7 as well. Then the last thing on the slide is insufficient team skill, right? We need to deliver this, and because project in itself is a progressive, elaborative affair, right? Most of the time you don't know entirely what you're getting into until the further you move in, the more you know about the project. So sometimes you see that, oh, we don't have this skill in our team. You must be able to communicate that to management in a way that you're not putting anybody bad, right? But you need to let them know that, oh, we need this resource, we need this skill. Even if it means sending one of your team member on a training to acquire that skill. Yeah, that is one thing that you must be able to do. Okay, so I think I'm closing on at the nick of time. So I said that. So we have been able to walk through the parts of a project manager, and everything we have said, we have mentioned here. We can distill it down to any part of the career you want, any part you want to choose, right? Be it in a graphics designer, be it a UI UX designer, product designer, right? Any specialty you want to pick, please take time to reflect on everything you have mentioned there, and the other speaker will also mention, and try to bring them home to yourself. I think that is when you can actually learn more on it. So in all, I'll say do what excites you, right? Project management excites me. I'm always happy doing it, discussing projects and all that, working with my team, laughing and joking and all that, where we need to frown, of course, we do that, right? So because I have one or two people that work with me on projects together, like Benga, so where we need to frown, where we need to shout, we need to do that, right? But we must know when and where you need to do that, and you must not let that get into your, anything you get to, it's on the job. After the job, we are friends again. Once we are in the room, during a meeting, I'm not getting something, we shout. Immediately we are walking out of the room, that thing has ended, we continue our play again. That is how it's supposed to be. Project management is an amazing profession. You are going to enjoy it. The opportunity to grow is limitless. You're only limited by the extent of your own imagination, right? There are greater and opportunities even outside Nigeria. If you Google higher paying jobs, maybe in UK or in the US or anywhere, right? I'm very, very sure. Go on Indeed, project management, IT project management will be one of the topics that you're going to see there. I mean, one of the professions that you're going to see there, right? And there are lots of opportunities. If you're one that is looking at building a career even outside Nigeria, right? I mean, you can't go wrong with project management anywhere, right? You can't go wrong. You can, of course, you can do your searches. Research and confirm everything I'm seeing. Yeah. On last note, I'll say, okay, so I know Bincom have a lot of learning opportunities, a lot of programs that Bincom is picking up. Setting up. Please, where possible, I will encourage you to tap into this. You cannot go wrong with Bincom, right? I've been there, I've learned, and that's why I started my story from there, right? And today, I don't feel shy to say it, right? And Bade, to if he's on this call, knows that I don't feel shy to say it, that my becoming today, Bincom played a very, very big role in it. So on that note, I just say go out and shine. Thank you very much. I'll be able to take your questions now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Benga.
You're welcome, sir.
That was a very thorough one.
I think Bincom ICT is having issue with that.
Yeah, the network is horrible. That was a very thorough one.
I think that
Okay. Jason, go ahead.
I think Jason is having issue with that.
A lot.
I think someone is trying to ask a question. Yusuf. Mudi, do you want to step in? I think Bincom ICT is having issue with network.
Hello, Benga, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know if she said.
Yeah, okay. I think is that my own network or yours?
I don't think it's your network.
Okay.
Can I go ahead with my question?
Okay, yeah, I think you can. I think you should do that.
I think my network.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead with your question.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Binga. I actually joined the Zoom meeting late, but I have a question. I don't know if you already talked about the question. I get asked a couple of times about this question. To become a project manager, what certifications do you require? Do you require is it necessary to go directly to Scrum, or you need to do Scrum before doing PMP? I'm actually a family of also Bincom. I've been with Bincom for a while. Like you said, Bincom is one of the things that keeps me going in IT, and I've been part of the big family. So that's just my question. My question is about, is it required, what certification is required to become a project manager? And is Scrum, do you advise someone coming in, say someone that doesn't have IT experience before, and asking, oh, I want to go into IT, but I know, and they always say, I don't like anything programming, I don't like mathematics. I tell them, go for project management. As long as you can manage people and you can manage probably your kids at home. I think that is one of the most difficult things. If you can manage your kids at home, go on their schedule, I think you should be able to do project management. But the question is, do they need to take the Scrum classes before going to PMP trainings or whatever? That's just my question. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So Yusuf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I get that question a lot too, right? And this is my response to it. You see, Scrum is a framework, right? So Scrum is a framework, and it's an agile framework. PMP tends towards the traditional waterfall, right? I just said not to bore you with different waterfall. I mentioned it first when I was talking, right? So I would say in my 10 years of working, none is superior to the other, right? None is superior to the other in terms of, I'm not talking about certification now, I'm talking about the two frameworks, right? None is superior to the other because, you see, it depends on what is obtainable where you want to work, right? So if you are fresh, let's assume that you don't even have any organizations in mind, you're just trying to prepare yourself ahead. You can take your shot at the two. Now, because most organizations are moving towards agile, right? So you will try starting off. Scrum might be becoming a Scrum Master might be good, but also now look at PMP is not even an entry level certification. So for someone that is starting up, I mentioned that earlier. For someone that is starting up, I don't encourage them to go and write PMP. You are going to be under a lot of pressure. I just said not to put those information in my slide now, but at least I know them often. For you to write PMP, PMI require that you have either 3 years experience with 4,500 project management experience in terms of hours, 4,500 hours of project management experience, right? That is if you have a BSc. If you don't have a BSc, you have maybe NDA or certificates. You are required to have like 4 years experience and 7,000 hours of project management experience. That is a lot of work. Now, so for someone that is starting up, now you probably, because you need to document that, and it's easy for us to cheat the system to put some things together. I mean, it's easy for us to projectize some things that are not really projects. I mean, not like they're not projects, but they're not professional things that are what's it called? Things that you do in your professional setting, right? And you document that and you make up stories from people that you get and you pass the exam. Now you now need to come to interview and come and convince me now as the interviewer that, okay, because when I see that on your CV, I believe that, oh, this person has maybe 3 years experience, right? You see, when I was talking about my own journey, you see, at the point where I didn't start write project management, PMP, when I started off, right? I waited till I started working in IT with Bincom. Before I didn't mention, what I mentioned is when I was still in school, right? I enrolled with one of my lecturer has this more like an IT firm, right? What they do is they deal with hardware, do hardware support, they sell hardware, they repair hardwares. You know, at the point, most of you will remember, most people don't do that now, where you clone a system, right? You clone personal computers, not laptop, not though. All those like personal computer, you buy hard drive, you buy motherboard, you buy that and that. It does all that. And because I studied physics electronics, I was one of his students then. So I learned under him, right? I learned that under him. And when I was coming out, I've been able to work on different projects. So when I was coming to Bincom, even though I didn't have that's my Bincom was my first professional place to work, like in IT software development, right? Now, when I was recording my PMP, I mean preparing for my PMP, and I was putting down my experiences, I had to go back to that to the where I worked in, to document some of the things that I did there. As a matter of fact, my experience was audited, and that's another thing you need to know. So if you don't have enough experience, PMI can decide to pick your application for audits, right? So if they pick your application for audit, they will send the forms that you need to send to your line manager where you earlier reported that you worked, and they are going to sign off on it and send back to PMI. So if you just tell us something, or to make sure you write PMP because that's the popular certification, there are a lot of potholes that you might fall into, and you don't want to get into that mess. So why not go for CAPM, right? So if you are someone that is trying to start, you can look at your pros and how much do you have to write certification, right? And that's at the point of selecting the certification you want, right? Because of course I explained this one, but that's why I said to share this again, to put this on the screen. You must decide, okay, which line do I want to tend towards? So you want to, when you are trying to pick your certification, do I want to go full agile at this stage, or do I want to go to the rudiment to start with the waterfall, right? None of them is superior to the other, like I said earlier. But if you are in IT, I will personally want to encourage you that you might want to start with the agile, right? You might want to start with agile. You might want to maybe you don't get to professional scrum master at first, but at least, as a matter of fact, even PMI now, right, going forward, maybe people won't be asking us that question again, Yusuf. PMI, from 7th edition PM Box that is coming out this year, they are bringing agile to PM. So when people are writing PMP now, they're going to have a part of agile into it. In fact, I have a PM Box guide, 2006. I mean, the 6th edition, there is a whole of agile framework bundled into it. So by that time, people will not be asking us again, because they also know that a lot of people are moving towards agile. Not only IT field are moving agile, in fact, everybody, because that's the reigning thing. Cost of work, especially in traditional waterfall, is chasing people away. So if you make mistake and we need to go back and rework, whereas Agile already gave us that platform to be able to manage that as we proceed. So if I'm going to encourage somebody, I'll say, okay, you know what, learn traditional, but go for agile more, right? So that when you're asking, or you find yourself in a place where you need to put the two to work, you are not by any way found wanting. So I hope I've been able to answer your question. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. So what I get out of it is just go for agile first, then waterfall come later. And based on your experience, you advise someone to go for Scrum, which is a bit like elementary but not inferior to PMP.
Yeah, okay. So I need to correct you on that. So you can't say Scrum is elementary, right? There are two. So that's why at first I mentioned that there are two frameworks. PMP is not a framework, right? There is a waterfall framework under which you can write PMP, right? You can write Prince2 and a whole lot of other certifications, right? Under Agile, there are a lot of other under Agile framework or Scrum framework. There are a lot of certification. One of them is Professional Scrum Master or Certified Scrum Master. There are a lot of certification under Scrum as well. You get, so they are not inferior. I mean, none is inferior to the other. You know, they are just two different frameworks. So if you get organization, and so where I work presently now, we use what we call an hybrid. And that's why I was saying that you can start learn this, but when you want to write certification, you can go for Scrum to Agile. And presently, we use a blend of the two, right? So when we are doing our planning, we do our initiating, we use waterfall. When we are doing planning, we use waterfall so that we can do a lot of documentation. By the time we move to execution and controlling, we do more of Scrum, right? And when we are closing, we default back to waterfall. So it's more like water Scrum fall. That is, in fact, the acronym we're giving to it. I know some organizations also are adopting that, right? But that works for us because it's a matrix environment, you know. So you might not find yourself in that kind of environment. You might find yourself in an environment where we need to pick one. Sorry, that my children chatting there. So you need to be able to pick one, right? But just make sure that when you are learning that, you are not totally doing it with the other one. Learn that as well, such that you can eventually come out as a properly bridged project manager that you find yourself in this environment where they practice this framework, you fit in. If you find yourself in an environment where they practice the other one, you fit in. And if it's a blend of the two, like we currently do, you are still good to go. Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right. Benga, thank you very much for your time and your presentation. I was saying that your presentation was very detailed. Like, thank you very much. I picked a lot from it. I was taking notes. I think I'm one of the accidental project managers. But
most of us.
it's good. Most of us are. Thank you very much. So can you just please write down your questions down for Mr. Benga? Those are not asked. You can drop it in the comment section and he will answer on that from that channel as much as he can. I just want to go through my presentation. I know we have less than 30 minutes to go to the end of this session. Right. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon once again. Very hard to present after your master has presented, so I will just had under the canopy of now we to present. Yeah. So ICT career talk for the month of March. Is anybody there? Can anybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay. ICT career talk for the month of March. Relevant skill for the information age. I don't know if we are still in the information age or if, because there's a lot, the ages are coming so fast at us, right? And there's a lot of evolution. Before I used to take a century for an evolution, or a decade. Now, like every other day, there's evolution. There's now 5G, 6G is ready. There's all form of innovation going on, right? And it begs the question, how do I play in this digital world? The world has moved from industrialization to globalization, now to digital, right? How do I move in this digital age, right? How do I partake or participate in this digital age, right? So these are for this conversation, I just listed few I just listed a few things that we can talk around. There are some of the key areas that you would have enough skill, enough relevance in this time, right? Enough skill and enough relevance in this time. So we start with web and application development, right? These are this is one of the skill that is highly sought after. If you just check LinkedIn and how jobs are posted in any job application platform, you find web and application development as being one of the top rated jobs that people are looking out for. Now, social media, project management, product management, digital marketing, data science analytics, and analytics. These are some of the areas that the conversation is leading towards, where innovation is happening. These are some of the areas that is governing our present day realities, right? So, and commanding the job of today, right? So you see, my presentation is very short. I'll just go straight to the point to give you guys what I think, my own contribution to the conversation, what I think that people should be spending time investing on, areas that you should spend time building knowledge around and investing resources around. Web design and application development, right? The mobile app industry is over $4 trillion. The last time I saw a projection, over $4 trillion in projection. Like in the next 20 years, in the next 10 years, it will be worth over $4 trillion. That's mobile app alone, And these areas, and it's not as geeky as it used to be. Coding, is at the core of every digital product. Nobody would take that away for now. Coding is at the core, programming is at the core of every digital product or services, right? And like Mr. Benga said, it's always very profitable to know your rudiment, to know your fund. You don't get missing at the top, you don't get lost when people are talking about the foundation, right? There are different applications out there that can help you build a web, maybe WordPress and co. You should learn them, but you should also know your fundamentals, right? And there are, programming language that are sought after these days are jQuery, for example, Angular, CodeIgniter, PHP. Yeah, they are still sought after. JavaScript, MySQL. Very difficult things to engage in or to start learning, but it starts with a simple process. Just try your hands on HTML and CSS. You will find out that it's not as difficult as it looks or as it has been portrayed. And so we need to start taking time to build expertise in any of these languages. And if you want to contribute to the future, or you want to contribute to the world we live in today, which is a digital land of at least one of these languages, for web design and app development, there are two areas that you can take a look at it from. You can decide to say, I just want to be a web designer. All I'm interested in is I want to learn how to build products from the point of how they look and how they feel. UX, UI, how they look, the designs. Or you can say, I want to be a core developer. You know, I'm interested in the hardcore coding, creating a working solution, right? And there are different applications that you can use, that you can learn from, like I said, HTML, Java, PHP, even WordPress. You know, as a blogger, which is a trend, which is a career path in this generation, in this information age, as a blogger, you should understand how WordPress work, right? There are different platforms out there that you can use to learn how to build a simple website or a simple web page. And this, if you go to job sites, these guys are always in demand. Companies are always looking for web designers. Companies are always looking for mobile app developers. You know, it's always in demand. So it's not as if you're learning something and you're waiting for it to come into existence. This is, in fact, I think the US say they are short of over 1 million developers. So they are sourcing for developers all around the world. One of the major exports of India today is developers. You know, one of the major exports, web, mobile app developers. So there's their skill set, their skilled job in those areas, and it's one of the conversation, you know, shaping the information age or shaping today. Another skill that you should have command of is social media skill, the ability to interact, create information, create content, share this content with people, and price it at a fee if you like, or exchange it for value. You know, it's also one of the key driver of the information age. Like, in fact, information age, social media sits at the heart of the information age because it's a platform that creates an enabling environment where people can interact, where people can share information, share knowledge, and exchange ideas. Right? There are different social media platforms, you know, from Facebook to WhatsApp to Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. You know, there are different ones. What I advise is, you know, have a command of at least one of these platforms for personal use. Right? But if you're going into it as a career, or if you're going into it like, how do I benefit from this, then you might want to learn more, because a lot of blue chip organizations and even startup are paying you know, companies millions of dollars to advertise and put their promo out there via social media. Most of the influencer of the day, you know, are on social media. Most of the influencers of the day, you know, it's interesting how the influencer journey has moved from town criers, you know, to people who have large followings on social media. One tool that you can use to engage is a very relevant tool for the information age, and you don't need any special skill. You just know how, as long as you know how to read and write, you can follow simple instruction, and you can model some of the things that you're seeing other people do, and you can use that to promote your brand, your visibility, and your ideologies, anything you want to promote on social media, right? So that is one of the skill. I can't overemphasize it enough. That is needed, you know, in this day and age, right? Project management. Um, I'm not going to talk much about project management. I think Benga has done justice, and he was very thorough in his presentation. But project management is indeed in hot demand, right? Whether you're managing your career path, you're managing your life, you're managing
Hi, Moody. Hello, Moody. Can't hear you again.
a job, whether you're managing a you know, from the reason why we have not been able to see it, so because we don't have the Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Hello? Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yeah,
I
you're
think I
back.
lost.
You're back now.
Okay, sorry. All right, network was, man, I don't know. All right. So project management is a tool that everybody needs, whether for personal engagement or for company, organizational engagement or group engagement. We all need social project management, right? And there are different methodologies that you can use, from Scrum to Agile and then to PMP, PMI. Those are some of the things that Wenger has talked about, and I don't want to labor it better than he did, because he did a fantastic job, right? Product management is also a skill that you must look into in this day and age. Is a skill that is very important. Like everybody now is have an idea. There's an idea, and the truth of the matter is that ideas are perishable products. Ideas are perishable concepts. If you don't write your idea down, wake up in the morning, 2 or 3 days later, you have forgotten about the idea. But if you write it down, you can work on it and you come up with a product. But when you come up with a product, you need to manage the life cycle of that product. So that's exactly what product management is. Products are the lifeblood of every organization, right? The reason why Bincom exists today is because we have products and services that we are rendering to a wide range of customer base. The reason why Social Lender exists today is because we have a product, right, that we are offering a wide range of customers. So products are the lifeblood, or are the blood, or are the life of any is the life of any company that exists. If there's no product, then there's no need. There's no product or services, then there's no point calling it an organization. But maybe it's just a gathering. So product management is creating and maintaining a product that effectively serves customers while achieving set business goals, right? So your job as a product manager is to interface with all stakeholders from idea stage of the product to possibly exit stage. Between idea and exit stage, there are customer discovery stage, there's customer validation phase, there's growth phase, and there's product fit, market fit, right stage, there's scale, and there's exit. So there are different phases, for every product in the market. Every product you see, have gone through different phases, from somebody conceptualizing it and doing a market survey to discover customer base, and to selling it to a customer base and checking their validation if they will purchase it and at what rate will they purchase it, with the amount they are paying, does it make a business sense, to reward those other stakeholders who are involved in the manufacturing, production, coding, programming, whatever you want to call it. So that's the job of a product manager. You are definitely also part of your job is also project management. You must have a project management skills. You must have a good temperament to talk to people, listen to people, get feedback, constantly researching about how best you can position your product. What are the new features that the market is looking out for or that the market is yearning for? That is a product manager, and it's become, in the last couple of years, it's become one of the leading career paths in the world, especially in the digital age, because often products are being bettered as fast, very fast, as compared to in the industrialization age. These days, people sit in their houses and build an application, and they need product manager to be able to take it to market. So it's also one of the most sought after career path. If you check on LinkedIn, their product managers are always in demand. It's a global trend. It's not just a Lagos or a Nigerian thing. It's a global trend, right? So do well to invest some time, some resources in building, if you are interested in that path, in building knowledge around product management. One of the skills, another skill that's very relevant to the information age is the digital marketing skill, right? This cannot be overemphasized, especially in this day and age, where we are all now digital natives. So traditional way of marketing, don't cut across to over 50% of the population anymore, because over 50% of our populations are under 40 or under 30, especially in this part of the world. And they were born into the www.com age. Sorry about that. And so they are digital native. We have Yahoo emails, Google Mail or Gmail, and we use YouTube, to as our primary source of visuals these days. And we have social media as our primary source of news channels. So digital marketing in the digital space has become our space. The digital space has become where we meet, where we have fun, where we do business. There are a lot of companies that operate on WhatsApp. Yeah, companies have different digital platform where they work from Skype to Team to Zoom, right? So we are now digital natives. Now, if we spend 80 to maybe 70 to 80% of our time crossing from work platform to social media platform, back to media platform like YouTube and the rest, it tells us that where we meet people this is where we can market to people is in the digital space. So it makes digital marketing very, very important to this day and age. And it's a skill that I think everybody should have. It comes side by side with social media skill, but it's some several steps ahead of social media marketing in its sense. In fact, social media marketing is a subset of digital marketing, right? And there are different digital marketing tools that you can leverage on. There are different platforms that you can build your digital marketing profile on, right? So we also have analytic tools that support some of the marketing. So we have Google, for example, have an analytic tool that you can leverage on. There's social media marketing as a subset of digital marketing. There's content marketing. It's also a subset of digital marketing. Yeah. There's the search engine optimization marketing that you can leverage on also. Then there's UX, user experience design for those that are in the graphics visual space, that you can, spend some time, studying. Google has a rich product on their bouquet for digital marketing that you can leverage on. Just leveraging on Google alone, you can get different kind of certification on the Google platform. Bincom, as it were, also have a digital marketing class that they run. So you can leverage on its opportunities. A 6 weeks class, right? A 1 month class at the 1 month, 6 contact section class, where you are taught some of these analytical skills, social media marketing, content marketing, and digital marketing in depth. And it's something that I believe that everybody should spend some time. Just have, even if you're not going to be a digital marketer, have an idea what your digital marketer is doing on your behalf, so that you can impute what you think that they can work on, how they should tell your stories, contribute to how your content is being positioned. So you need this skill. Last for this conversation, because I just wanted to keep it, I didn't want to overload people with a lot of information that they will not be struggling. So where do I start from? So if we've gone through a couple of skill that is needed, right? I'll just go through the last one. On this my slide for my conversation is data science and data analytics. So there's a lot of conversation around data science, big data. There's a lot of conversation around AI, machine learning. It's a global conversation, and you're wondering, so what is this about. The truth of the matter is everything around you is a subset or a set of data, right? And today's world we leverage on data, right? And today's world we leverage on data. Companies are built, transacting on data today. So you have to be wise and smart on how you engage, right? On how you engage in today's world, right? Data is the new gold. They say data is the new oil and gas. They say data is everything, right? And there are a huge set of data around us, and organizations are looking for people that can interpret this data set around them, this data that they are gathering. Organizations are looking for who can interpret it for them so that they can make business decisions and business sense, profitable business decision from this data, right? So for example, let me give an example. If you are the chairman of Yaba Motor Park, for example, right? And about 2 million people passes through Yaba Motor Park either by boarding bus or boarding keke or boarding a bike in a month. 2 million people, right? That begins to tell you a story that place is a hub. It's a melting point where if you put maybe a banner or an advertisement or 2 million people are likely going to see it in a big data analyst to tell you that the board keke analysts help to break down this data into modules that businesses can leverage on business decisions, right? So in this world, in this current you can start learning about data science on your own by just different data science classes across the country or across the location, different locations, to join their online classes, right? And you can start your process by also learning about Python, expression that people work with them, right? There's
Modi, your mute, is that on purpose?
sorry. Apologies, my network keeps flipping. Right. So I was talking about data science and how to acquire data acquisition and processing. These are skill sets that people are working on, people are building, and they are becoming very valuable. The price tag for some of these skill sets are very high in terms of hire. They are expensive hire for organization. Data extraction and making meaning out of big data, which is simply data analytics, is also a big skill set, skill set that is very viable in the information age because there are a lot of information out there. How do you sift through those information to know which is true and which is false? The big social media platform are always coming under criticism to say, their platform are used to propagate hate speech, used to spread false information. If you have ever witnessed any unrest or protest globally, you'll find that the big social media platforms, keep taking down, posts or pictures, gory pictures, violent pictures, because their data analysts have set it in such a way that particular images that are not approved cannot stay up, cannot be shown to the general public. So you need data analytics to be able to, sort through data set to say, this is good for consumption, this is not good for consumption. You can make decision, you can make sense out of it. And that is a very high paid skill job in the 21st century, in this information age. Machine learning and data visualization also, these are areas where they are high-end skill in the information age, rather I would say. So if you look at it, the beginning for me, if you look at data, you were like, oh, how do I get to that point where I'm now a big data analyst? It starts by just learning Python, understanding what Python means, understanding the different expression, how you can use it, then you build from there. It's not a rocket science, but it's something that with dedication and a decision to go through, you will be able to acquire the necessary skill and necessary knowledge, and even contribute to the body of knowledge around Python. There are on these various skill set that I've talked about today, there are rich body of work, in different portals around each of them. You can read up as a jump starter, like to start your process. You can read up these processes. You can sign up for classes, to learn more in depth. You can join clusters. You can join groups. There are WhatsApp groups. I know for data science, there's data science Nigeria. They have a group, where they meet and where they talk about the new set of things happening in the data world, or this innovation happening in the data world, I should say. So it takes a conscious commitment and decision to say, I want to play in the data science field, right? I want to play in the digital market field. I want to be a product manager. I want to be a project manager. I want to be a social media analyst or a social media manager. These are the skill set for today. These are the skill set that is commanding businesses. That businesses are built around today. So if you are young, and I believe everybody here is young, or if you're a digital native, an internet native, you should be commanding a bit of knowledge or a rich asset of knowledge in one of these fields, so be able to compete in this information age, right? Our time is up. It's 2 p.m. I was trying to catch 2 p.m. So thank you, everybody. Please, can you share your questions if you have any, because this is supposed to be, I enjoy interactive presentation. So if you have questions, this is a good time. It's a great time to ask your question so that we can learn from each other. Hello, any question, any comments, any contribution?
Yeah, not from me.
Okay.
I think you
So
still.
no question?
No, I think Adejimo have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question, a quick one. For the project management, do you have any class, and what is the financials like? And after the class, do you have an intern position for your trainees?
So that question is for Chisom and the organizers of this, but I believe Bincom has classes, project management classes. And at the end of those classes, there are opportunities that are available in the ecosystem, right? You can decide to do an internship anywhere anywhere. Bincom has sister companies that constantly need some of these services. Bincom itself has, over time, in the past, absorbed a lot of people that come through those classes for different projects or for one project or the other. So yes, there are opportunities. There's just go to bincom.net/academy. Bincom.net/academy. You'll find a project management class. I think it's every other month, right? You can enroll. The prices are there. The various prices are there, so you can enroll, and that will be your first step. Does that answer the question?
Okay. Yeah, Ijoma, you still have a question. Your hand is still up.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Ijoma.
Yes. There is no question from my end.
Okay. Yeah, Moody, back to you.
All right. So if there's no further question, I'd like to thank everyone for spending their Saturday afternoon with us. I'd like to especially thank our first speaker of the day, Mr. Gbenga, project manager extraordinary. Thank you very much, sir, for spending time with us and for sharing your knowledge, your rich knowledge with us. We have learned a lot, Scrum Masters, Agile, where to start, and we've taken some of the brilliant advice also on not starting with the most pressured one, which is PMP, but starting with Scrum Masters or Agile, where you can pace yourself and grow gradually. I think that was a very vital piece of information or advice. So thank you very much, sir. And thank you to everyone that made this presentation or this event a success. I can't seem to find Chisom anymore. I don't know, but I believe this has been worth it. Please do well to share your takeaways. You know, if you've learned anything new, do well to share it on our social media. Tag Bincom Dev Center social media handles, right? And let's continue the conversation on social media, which is one of the relevant skill for this information age. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Do have a lovely weekend. I don't know if there's any further information or announcement that should be given at this point, but is there any? Can anybody help me with what the exits closure look like? John, is there any information that needs to be dispersed, or are we good to go?
So we are good to go. Mr. Moody.